So during my lunch break today, I went to Tesco just to go and get my lunch, as you do. There was a small bag of Doritos, one of those little 40-gram ones, and then right next to it was a half-price, 200-gram bag one. I went for the big one, and just as I went to grab it, this nurse came round the corner, obviously starting to get in the queue to purchase her items, turned to look at me, and see me reaching for this massive bag of crisps. I was like, really? I don't tell you how to live your life. Why are you telling me how to live my life? If I want the big bag of crisps, I will have the big bag of crisps. There are no words. I mean, seriously. If I want the big bag of crisps, I will have the big bag of crisps. Just because you're a nurse, and you might have NHS written there, does not mean that you actually have the right to judge me on what I eat. Okay?
Wow. What a terrible, terrible person. I mean, can you believe people like this even exist? I mean, just try to imagine what else she does. I bet she kicks kittens. I bet she cheats on her tax forms. I bet she goes to the hospital she works at and goes to everyone that has a terminal illness and just laughs at them. Daily laughs at their pain. And you know what? I bet she molests kids. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many kids she's probably abducted. And you know what? I bet she has a penis. Because how can you rape anything if you don't have a penis? If only we could get this information out to the world. Because everyone needs to know how terrible of a person this is. Whether it be her employers, her friends and family, or even the potential love interest. Everybody needs to know what this person probably does in their free time. Well, lucky for us, there wasn't an app concept to allow us to do this, but unfortunately for us, the idea of this app was universally criticized by practically everyone. There were just too many people that saw the potential of this great idea to inform everyone about how truly terrible these people are.
It's apparently like Yelp for people. A new app called Peeple with a double E allows you to rate and review every person you know using a 1 to 5 star rating scale. Friends, coworkers, romantic partners, even your exes.
Oh. What is the point of this? I mean, it sounds more detrimental than nice.
And the co-founders of this app are trying to say it's all about being positive.
Yeah. The Peeple app developers told Washington Post that this app is about uplifting people. But there are some initial concerns that are rocking social media.
And that could be trouble.
Cordray insists Peeple is a positivity app.
We want to be given the opportunity to prove to you that the world is predominantly good, filled with people that absolutely love you and want to lift you up.
It's amazing how truly terrible this idea was, about how these two people never once considered maybe the system could be abused. Maybe just have someone make a profile using a Facebook account and then being able to create any account they wanted for anyone just using a telephone number, any telephone number whatsoever. Rate them 1 to 5 stars and say whatever you want about them. But what's even more amazing is that they were able to raise $250,000 to invest into this idea. I just wish there was a way for us to get a glimpse into this process of it being made, just to see what their mindset was, how they went about doing this, and their justification for advancing this hilarious idea. Well, lucky for us, they were kind enough to record it and try to make it into a mini documentary series of sorts. Even more hilarious was they ended up deleting every single video except for one, which just shows you how truly wonderful these videos must be. Luckily, the internet never forgets, and a very good person was able to mirror most of these episodes. It's a 1 to 12 parter, and episode 6 is sadly lost to time. I wasn't able to find it at least. But let's just take a look at these, or some of these seeds of this, and just truly get a feel for these people. And just this whole situation, which is hilarious to its core, which is just freaking enjoyable. And I'll post a link in the description to the videos if you want to watch them for yourself, which I highly recommend. So let's start by getting just a picture of the vision, what the purpose of this was, and what they intended for it to be.
This is about abundance for all and lifting people up and finding out who the really good people are. I've never believed in anything more than I believe in this project. I mean, I've built 2 really cool companies, and I had conviction about those companies, but this company fuels my passion, it fuels my purpose, it answers my why.
It's a reality, and in 3 months it'll be there helping people.
We're 3 months away from launch.
I'm excited that in 3 months we'll actually have a product where people can start populating it, and we can actually have it do amazing things.
That's incredible.
So one of the first things you probably noticed is the weird emphasis placed in these videos, especially at the beginning. It's really a focus on their relationship to the project rather than the project itself, the app itself, the concept idea. It makes you wonder why they made this documentary in the first place. Just think about what these episodes' existence means in the first place. It means months before their announcement of their idea, they decided that they should document this, that they should film their lives leading up to even the announcement itself before anyone knew about it. So they hired an independent company to film them and make a documentary of it. But the weird thing is, it's not a documentary about the app itself and about its creation. It's really more focused on the people making the app and about how it affects them and about how they're doing it, which is a really weird tone, which you'll pick up more and more throughout these videos if you choose to watch them, which makes it all the more entertaining to know how badly it turned out, and about how great they thought this idea was, and about how great they thought they were themselves for coming up with this great idea. This is a real first exposure to them as people, and not just to this great app idea itself. And one of the first things they feel compelled to do is mention that they already have 2 successful companies, but how this one's going to be even greater. It's like if you were to meet a stranger on the street for the first time, and they were to introduce themselves as the manager of Burger King. They do it to try to garner your respect or show you why you should care about them in the first place, but you really don't. Especially since they don't introduce themselves at all in this episode, and this is really the first thing they share about themselves to us. So on a side note, Calliope Productions, which is the people who filmed this video series, have 2 other really interesting videos. The first one is called Reality of Relationships, which is pretty much your normal underage drinking PSA, which pretty much says, if you drink, bad things will happen and you'll die. And then the other one, which is even more hilarious, and I really wish I could have watched this and shown it to you all, because the description is just great. It's entitled The One and Only Rexy, and it's about a short documentary profiles a young San Francisco LGBTQ activist. It was created as an audition tape for a television show. I have no idea what television show it was, and I have no idea what a San Francisco LGBTQ activist would be trying out for. I just really wish I really wish this video would have been public and we could have just enjoyed it together. But these next clips will give you a better understanding of what I'm talking about how great they thought this app idea was, and about how great they thought themselves were for coming up with this great idea.
We're not solving a small problem here. We're solving a huge problem. Online reputation management, online reputation, online integrity, connecting people. We're not in a village anymore where you can just go down the street and find out who somebody really is. And I hope that this becomes the ultimate community. I don't know what this is going to do for society. I just think it's important. And I think when shareholders see it for the first time, I hope they feel what I feel, or what I felt in that moment, that it was worth it. We all deserve to be uplifted, and we all deserve to be around the best of the best. If this app can get us the best of the best and be surrounded by the best of the best and find out who those people are quicker and up our game if we're not one of those people, I think that's a pretty awesome platform.
To get you connected with the best of the best, because that's the only people you should be surrounded by, the best of the best. It's amazing that no other social media website, no other platform, I can't even think of anything else that would make that claim, that you should be surrounded only by the best of the best. And if you're not one of the best of the best, you should try to up your game to become the best of the best, so that you're worthy to be surrounded by. That's just amazing right there. It's amazing.
I think this app will help people be less lonely You know, I know that sounds kind of strange, but we're so disconnected now, and we're so connected digitally. So what do you do with that? I hope this app really allows us to connect again as if we were in a village. And that's a big ask. But if it works and we do it right and we do it well and we do it with integrity, we may have created the biggest village on earth aside from Facebook. That would be cool.
First off, what was the purpose of that random shot of the person sleeping on the street? And this just goes back to the point about why this documentary was made, and you're starting to see more and more of it. She's talking about, this is what we're making, and this is what we're hoping for, and we would have made this app, and we would have done this and that. The focus of it is really more directed towards the people themselves, Julia especially. And again, they're hoping this will be the next Facebook, the next big thing. The place you go if you want to know about someone, or know who they are, what their integrity is, their reputation is. And they're making it sound like this would be the first place you would go to. If someone new moved down the street, if there was a person in your class you didn't know, this would be the first place you could go, and you could get to know them to see whether you want to interact with them or not, how well you should get to know them, or if you should introduce yourself or whatnot. And apparently they think this is a huge problem, that you don't know people before you get to know them. Now, on a business level, this kind of works, and that's why LinkedIn and stuff like that are actually extremely useful and extremely popular, because you want to know more about the people before they come in for an interview or whatever. But when you're talking about relationships and dating, which are the other two, how are you going to be able to get to know these people? If it's a 1 to 5 star review, how is a 3 or 4 star going to help you, oh man, I should introduce myself because I think we have a lot in common? Or the comments on them, what are they going to say that's going to be, oh, this is someone I'd like to know? So I really don't understand how this is going to help connect people, and it is. But maybe. Apparently this is a huge problem, and it needs to be addressed. So let's just watch a little bit more and see if we can get a better understanding of this concept.
We have no idea how they're going to use it. That's what's so exciting and terrifying all at the same time. I think it's going to hold us more accountable to the truth. And I hope that it's uplifting. I hope that with the right rating, you can get a better job. I hope that with the right skill set and people talking about how great you are at what you do or how you are in this world, you can get access to better networks or better professionals or better mentors. We all deserve to be uplifted, and we all deserve to be around the best of the best. If this app can get us the best of the best and be surrounded by the best of the best and find out who those people are quicker and up our game if we're not one of those people, I think that's a pretty awesome platform.
And this is what pisses me off the most. As someone who is trying to get people to invest in this idea, how the hell do you not know how people are going to use it? It seems like as a product designer, you should probably have a freaking idea of how the product is going to be used. And this just points to the basic problem with this series as a whole. You don't really know how this app is going to be used. They talk about how great it is and what they hope it's going to be and about how it's going to connect everyone. And they describe it as a Facebook or Tinder or LinkedIn all mixed in one and all that shit. But they never talk about what the app is actually used for, how it's actually going to work, which just blows my mind how they got funding. And the second point of this is they understand there's going to be a negative component to it. They say they don't know how people are going to use it, or they realize people are going to get negative reviews, but they should improve themselves because of it or some shit. So they understand that there's going to be a substantial negative component. So one thing to keep in mind as you watch these is, do they really not understand how this could be abused or how large an impact this could actually have? Or are they willfully ignorant of it, or are they just that stupid to not realize it? Like I said, I highly recommend watching these videos yourself. I'll put a link in the description. But the next part will look at the Q&A they asked to people about the concept is to get their reaction and what they should change and fix, and we'll keep in mind why this video series was made in the first place, what they focus on, and see if they didn't really recognize the potential abuse of this system, about how big of a flaw it actually had. So I guess that's the end of part 1.